You can start.
A very good evening, everyone. It's a great privilege for me here to welcome you all for the 55th weekly webinar series organized by IEEE Malabar subsection in association with IEEE Malabar Hub and IEEE Student Branch, MES College of Engineering, Kutipuram. This webinar series was a lockdown initiative for aspiring minds to learn and widen their horizon. We are extremely honored to take this opportunity to introduce the speaker of this webinar, Mr. Namit Najib, on the topic Golden Years of Your Life. He is the director of the Paramount Computer System in Qatar, a leading cybersecurity system integration company in the Middle East. Mr. Namit Najib, who was a faculty at MES College of Engineering, then joined the prestigious program at IIM Kozhikode and completed his PG in Business Management. He was the IEEE SB MESC counselor and got international award to recognize contributions of faculty members to the student branches of IEEE in 2012. Today, he is an executive committee member of the Alumni Association of IIM Kozhikode. He has over 8 plus years in cybersecurity, in sales, and business leadership roles across various industries. So, without further ado, let's give our speaker a round of visual applause. Mr. Namit Najib, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Lamisa, for that wonderful introduction. I did not plan to use a presentation today, so it's hopefully going to be a very casual and open interactive session. I see a lot of people are still joining in, so maybe we'll give them a minute while I slowly introduce myself once more and give you some more context about me. I've been told that this is primarily students of the Malabar subsection. Is that right? Or do we have any other audience members here? Any other types of audience members?
A few faculty members also will be joining, not exclusively for students. We have other members as well.
Okay, perfect. So, all right. So, where do I start? When I was asked for the topic for the session, and I was thinking, what do I speak about, right? I mean, I'm speaking to a bunch of people who are volunteers in IEEE, and that itself is a great achievement to have, right? In an environment where there are several other things that you can do, several other deviations that you can take while in a campus, you've chosen to be part of a system like IEEE, which shows that there is a certain level of commitment to self-development. So I was thinking, what do I tell you? What do I tell the audience? And it suddenly clicked that for me, IEEE provided the golden years of my life. And I thought maybe that is a conversation I should probably have with all of you and kind of exchange notes as to what it has done for you, what it has done for me, what you could probably think of doing in the future, and several other things. My foray or my introduction into IEEE happened very accidentally while I was a student myself in my engineering college at Kollam in 2005, if I'm not wrong. It was a very random incident where one of the seniors came up to me and said, there is this, student body called IEEE that we're trying to set up in the college. Do you want to be a part of it? And I was always that kind of person who didn't say no to anything, right? I was always looking at being part of initiatives, doing something out of the ordinary, always jumping around with a lot of energy. So I said yes, and that started a great journey for me personally and professionally. Personally, because I met so many wonderful people who turned out to be great friends down the line, and professionally as well, because it changed me dramatically. And I would also talk about that later when I talk about how I got into the IIM program, where the IEEE experience mattered quite a lot in my selection process. So 2005 to 2007, I was a student volunteer. We did several things. I got exposed to different kinds of students across the state. We got exposure to different kinds of initiatives around the globe, right? That's what IEEE does to you. It opens up a huge amount of opportunities. You get to meet a lot of people. And that's what happened to me. And that kind of created the base for me. And I got into a corporate job after my engineering, but I was never happy doing a 9 to 5 job because of the energy that, like I told you about before, right? So that kind of kept me nagging, and finally I decided to quit, and I decided to get into academics. And I thought maybe going back to college might be more exciting, and it in fact turned out to be more exciting for me. And that's how I ended up in MES College of Engineering in 2009 as a faculty in the Electronics and Communication Engineering department. Again, I was very young at that time. I was a very junior lecturer. People got confused between whether I was a faculty member or a student. Right? You probably have been through that phase yourself, right? You see a lot of faculty members, not today anymore, but previously. So it was a very exciting moment, exciting times for me. And fortunately, at that time, again, the IEEE banner popped up in MESC. It was a very active student branch even before my time. But I think during the last few years before my time, it had taken a bit of a downturn. Things were kind of cooling down, and they were looking for somebody to kind of take it up. And with my experience in IEEE and my network in IEEE, I realized that there is an opportunity for us to explore, and that's how I became the student bands counselor. Thankfully, we had an amazing bunch of students who did all the running around. They came up with amazing ideas, like probably all of you are doing right now. And what I would say from those years, I mean, I spent 2 years in MESC, and for both years I was a student bands counselor. This is something that probably most of the faculty members will also agree. People who tend to be part of IEEE tend to be part of other initiatives as well. Right? And I think that is happening for the constructive good of the institution, the society in general. You see a lot of common heads, and these common heads are typically part of IEEE as well. And I say these are golden years because when you grow into a corporate life, when you get into a job, when you get into a full-time kind of entrepreneurship or a role that requires you to be focused on a particular thing, you kind of tend to lose focus on what you could have done for the society, right? Even though we are all trying to do our best and give back in different ways, the energy that we had back then, even as students, or the energy that we have today is extremely two ends of the spectrum. So it's a golden time period for you to contribute. I mean, that's, I think, the most important part of being an IEEE. It's a great time for you to contribute. I've seen a lot of students who ask, right? I'm sure you do all these awareness sessions and programs to increase membership, and everybody will ask you the question of, what do I get? I'm spending so much money on this. What do I get? And obviously, there are different kinds of customers for IEEE student branches, right? There are the party people who want to do networking events and have fun, go on tours and stuff. There are the technical geeks who want to do projects and be part of that kind of an environment. There are the I think the experts on soft skills who speak a lot, who do a lot of stuff, take part in tech fests, management fests, and stuff like that. There are the doers who sit behind the scene and get a lot of things done. So you find different kinds of people. It's like actually working in an organization, and you get to have that experience very early on in your career, right? And one very important aspect of having spent so much time in IEEE while as a student and in my early career is my communication skills improved dramatically. The way I wrote emails, the way I made presentations, the way I prepared documents, the way I spoke to people, right? All of that improved dramatically without me having put an effort for it, right? Because various situations demanded that I do that. For example, today, Lamisa had to introduce me. So she had to do it, and she kind of did that on the fly or prepared for it. So experiences like these will add up at some point in time. It will prove to be beneficial for you. I say this because from my experience, all of these things that I did personally, right, or I experienced with the students and the Malabar subsection at that point in time, which was also an exciting phase because we were just creating the Malabar subsection with Mohandas sir and the rest of the team. It was a fun time. So there are so many things happening, and you could never be free, right? And that is what you want to be in your life, right? You want to be engaged. You want to be feeling happy that you're contributing. Money doesn't matter at that point in time. It's not about making multi-million dollars or building a big house or buying a big car. It's about creating an impact, and that's what we're all motivated about. So at that point in time, amazing stuff happened. We did several things, and I'm sure there are several things that are still going on as a result of that. There are several new things that I'm sure all of you are starting off with. And why I keep on going back to the word golden year is the experience, the learnings, all the micro learnings, I would say, added up, right? So when I applied for when I wrote my CAT exam, I cracked the CAT exam, which is the prerequisite for getting into an IIM, right? But that was only the first step. And in my second step, I had to present a portfolio of myself, or present my my career in front of them in an interview, and tell them why I deserve to be in a place like this, right? if I look back today and I look at my CV or my profile or whatever you call it, if I had not been part of IEEE, I would not have had anything to talk about, right? Because there were so many things that I had done during my time at IEEE that uh, they just got blown away with the amount of stuff that we got done, right? And the kind of people that we knew, the kind of managerial stuff that we had learned, the kind of technical stuff that we had learned. So it was so much information to pass on to them, rather than having said that, I spent 4 years in college and then I passed out with a great CGPA, or I was the top 10 in my class. I did a micro project, a mini project in this and a major project in this. That's it. It doesn't create an impact because every other person has done that. But what created a difference for me personally is the amount of exposure I had. Right, I had worked with the likes of Damodaran sir and Mohandas sir and the likes, who were veterans in their fields, and it is impossible for anybody else to get an audience with them today, and let alone work with them on projects. Right, so just names that I can throw. Right, there's so many people in the IEEE Kerala section itself, right, and Malabar subsection that you got exposed to. An amazing experience, amazing learning. So what I'm coming to right now is that you may be in your first year, second year, third year, fourth year, right, whatever it may be. And there's one piece of advice that I give to everyone, right? You will never get your college life back. Those 4 years, or if you're doing your master's, your 2 years, are probably the last of your last batch of amazing memories that you can create, right? And when you do that with your heart, right, and do that with people who are as motivated as you to get things done. It is not only about, like I said, not only about academics. It's about creating those memories, creating those bonds, creating those impacts, impactful initiatives. I'm still in touch with a lot of my students. I'm very proud of a lot of my students who've done extremely well, not just academically, right, but in their life. They're doing what they would like to do. And I would say some of my older students and student branch members have become great friends today and great mentors. And we talk to each other quite a lot. So yeah, that's where I would say focus on in your college life. Don't get bogged down by a lot of negative stuff. There's a lot of, especially in today's environment, given the COVID scenario, there's a lot of negativity going around, right? A lot of talk about the bad things that are happening, but look at the great things that are happening. We're all sitting in different parts of the world, talking to each other about memories that I've had and sharing them with you, and that gives an opportunity for all of us to learn from each other. So yes, please make sure that do something while you're in college. Don't just focus on getting sliding through your 4 years in college life. There are enough initiatives that IEEE can help you pick up, right? There's so many things that can happen. I still remember somebody came and told me while I was a student branch counselor that how do we improve our communication skills, right? Somebody told us that when you join IEEE, you'll improve your communication skills. So I smiled. I said, whoever told you that may be wrong, because you don't improve communication skills by joining IEEE. You improve communication skills by communicating or trying to communicate. And IEEE gives you that platform, right? It gives you opportunities to communicate. So they're saying, no, we are a normal member, right? We see that the executive committee members get to meet a lot of people. We're not getting exposed to a lot of other stuff. And we were a big branch at that time. I think we were around 100 people, if I'm not wrong. Compared to the previous times, we had hit 100 members, branch members and stuff. So there was a problem where, like in any situation, right? A lot of people felt that not everyone is getting benefit from IEEE. So we decided to create a program, or the students came up with a program called SOLD, which was Speak Out Loud Debate. So what we did is we meet up on, I think Wednesdays or Mondays every week. I don't remember exactly, after plazas. And we used to have faculty members coming in, and then we would set up debate panels of debate members, and they used to debate about anything under the sun, right? And it was very nice. We were not looking at language; we were looking at people trying to communicate their ideas, and it was an amazing initiative. A lot of, I think we did about 50, 60 sold sessions. I don't remember exactly now, but that's one thing that is very close to my heart. So look at that, right? You don't need to create an impact for 100 people. You can create an impact for 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. That's also an impact. And that is the, I think that is the motivation for any person, right? To have made a positive impact in someone's life. So yeah, that's my experience while being in IEEE. I still continue to be in IEEE, though I'm not as active as I used to be. I wish I could spend more time, but my family and my work and multiple other things demand a lot more time from me. But hopefully in the near future, as soon as I exit the Alumni Association, responsibilities, I'll move on to doing something more actively with IEEE. So what I would like to see is to have some questions come from you, right? Because I can obviously keep on talking about myself. It's very easy to talk about what I've done and what stuff has happened to me. But please feel free to ask questions. I would love to answer any question that you may have.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. Hello.
Hello.
What?
Okay, sir. Can you share some of your best memories of your golden years? Something that pop up right now.
See, obviously, when you when you plan something with your, I'm going to talk specifically about the student branch, right? Because that was something very close to my heart. When you plan something with the student branch and then you put some initiatives against those, and then you evaluate what you've done over a period of time, and then you achieve those milestones, and then you get awarded for that, right? That was a big moment for us. I don't remember the name of the award exactly today, but we did get a couple of recognitions from Kerala section and MGA for having grown our student brand significantly. And that was again something that, so as a counselor, you don't do a lot of things. You only counsel, you only listen to them, tell the students whether the idea may work, may not work, what are the things that could change, what are things that can improve, right? You don't tell them this is the way you should do it. So I was just a sounding board for the students, and it was great to see that they were growing, right? You obviously see your friends and your peers also growing as you grow through the years in your college life. So I was also seeing that the members of the student branch were growing as professionals, growing as human beings, and changing themselves into something that was beautiful. So that was very very nice to remember. And I think more than anything else, I still remember, or I still cherish the friendships that I've created, right? All the awards and all the other stuff won't matter too much, but you will remember names of people who've been very close to you. And I think I know a lot of people who have ended up starting businesses with their IEEE friends, getting into major initiatives with them, right? Even today. So yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, a specific memory as such, no, because the whole 2 years was wonderful for me. So there were several people who did great stuff. One proud moment, though, I would say, is that when I had joined IIM Core Code, and subsequent year, I don't know how many of you know her, but Shruti S. Dev from MES joined as my junior in IIM Core Code right after finishing her graduation. She was also part of and she was an active part of the IEEE student branch. I think she was also the president or the secretary or the chairman at that time when she was leaving, and she ended up joining as a junior in my campus. It was a weird time for both of us because even in campuses like IIMs, there are introductory sessions, and you juniors get pulled up, and you're asked to introduce, and she had to say, Namit used to teach me and stuff, and then everybody was just look at each other. And it was a little weird for me as well, but that was a very proud moment for me. And I think recently there's another student of ours, Kartika, who finished her program at IIM Core Code, and there's several who went on to do several things. But yeah, that's what I would say. And your questions need not be formal, by the way. You can ask away. Do not feel offended. I mean, do not feel afraid of asking questions. There is no stupid question.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. So, what advice would you give to people who have already passed their golden years, like after college, after your volunteering experience?
Okay, so let me rephrase. When I said golden years, it was golden years for me. Even if you've graduated, it doesn't necessarily mean the end of your golden years. I'll tell you that because I mean, for me, the golden years was after I graduated, right? It was also part of my golden years, right? When I was student branch counselor, not only at the student branch, but also part of the Malabar subsection. I was also part of young professionals, which was called Gold at that point in time. We did several amazing initiatives, which we could have not done otherwise as individuals, but we got to get to do that. That's what I would say, right? I mean, technically there is no end to a golden year. If you have the right mindset, your life is full of golden years. What I would say is network. I mean, look at people who are, I don't know. I mean, I'm 35 years old now, right? And life changes you. I mean, you look at life at different ways at different points in time. What I've seen is it's very hard to find people who understand the frequency at which you are thinking. You might have a lot of friends, you might have a lot of relatives and colleagues and people around you and stuff. But you have that very small set of people who think in the same or think along the same lines as you do. And if there is something that you need to explain to them, you know that you can easily do that. And at different points of time in your life, that will change. But what is weird or what is, I think, special is that for me, I've seen that even though it changes at different points in time, all of them have been from the IEEE fraternity, right? Which means there is something unique about people. It's not about IEEE changing you also, right? It's about the IEEE attracting you. There are people who are attracted into IEEE who come with the skill sets that are already, part of that amazing culture, and then they hone that skill set. So, especially if you're just graduating from campus, right? Extremely important for you to be part of IEEE because of two things. One, you will maintain the energy that you had while on campus. It is extremely difficult to hold on to that when you get into a job, especially the first 2 years. It's very different from what we think a job is going to be. It can be monotonous. It can be extremely competitive. It can be mentally draining, right? When you do not have a network like you had while on campus to kind of fall back on, that becomes a problem. Second is, even for you to grow in your career, it's extremely important, right? Because you need to know who are the right people, what have they done, right? Are there IEEE seniors who have done something similar to what you're doing today? What are they doing? What are they doing currently? How do they get there, right? All of that will matter. So the alumni in IEEE is also extremely important. So as you graduate, in my view, those are the best 2 or 3 years for you to spend the most time at IEEE, because that is where you can jump in your corporate career with amazing pace, because you'll get exposed to a lot of people, right? Like I said earlier, if your communication skills and your leadership skills and everything start coming out because of your exposure at IEEE while you're working, it'll reflect in your work. It's very simple. So that reflection will obviously end up giving you a faster track in your career or whatever you're doing. I mean, when I say career, because a lot of people think about jobs after campus, but if you want to look at a startup, even that makes sense because you're always in that energetic mode. I hope I've answered your question. Was it Nujum who asked that question? I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, you have answered my question.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
So
I can see Dr. K.P. Mohammed sir here. Good evening, sir. If you can hear me. Yes, please go on. Somebody had a question.
hello, sir. So my question is, if you could change one thing about your choices during this period, what would it be?
I think I would have spent more time doing the things that I wanted to do, but I never ended up doing that. I think that's one of the greatest regrets everybody has in life, to have had spent more time on certain things rather than wasting time on others. So one of the things that I still regret is not having, I still think a lot of people who were very technically sound did not get the opportunity to prove that during my time. I mean, obviously we were trying to do a lot of out of hours lab, out of class time labs and stuff, which we could not take forward. And I think if we had, I mean, at that point of time, the whole the kind of entrepreneurial culture you see in Kerala today wasn't there at that time. It was very early stage. If we were a couple of years, ahead of what happened at that time, I think the whole system would have been different, right? Because MES had an amazing culture of having technically sound people, and if we had that kind of an ecosystem, then we would have, I think, had a lot of entrepreneurs coming out. Unfortunately, at that point of the whole Kerala ecosystem of startups was also very, very niche and in its budding stage. So yeah, I think that's one. It's not a regret. It's just that we were in the wrong place at the right time. So I'm just looking back and thinking that could have been a different proposition.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So, am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Can you please say what are your worst regrets during this period?
I think this is the same question that was asked, and not too many regrets. Like I said, maybe like I said, right place, wrong time. The timing could have been a little better when it came to a lot of students. I think there were a lot of people who had amazing potential to become entrepreneurs who just got dragged into corporate jobs. And later on, again, I think they figured it out and then they got out and then they started something out on their own. But yeah, no personal regret saying that I should not have done this, not have done that. For me, those 2 years have been the best 2 years of my life so far.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I would like to know the one thing you did that changed your life during this period.
Like I said, while I was a student also, I think making that decision, I still remember I was telling my father at that time that it will take me around $25 to become a member. So he asked me this question about, so $25, so what does that translate into? So I said $25 is like, say, 1,500 rupees. He said it's about 5 rupees a day, right? Do you think you will be able to justify 5 rupees a day spent on something like an IEEE? And that's when it clicked for me. And I said, yeah, it does. So that's when I decided to go ahead and join IEEE. And I think that was one of the most important moments for me, having taken that plunge. I had no clue what IEEE was by that. At that time, I was just going by what my seniors had said. I had just felt excited that there is something that we can do, and just gone with it. So I think that was one of the best decisions I've taken in my life.
Any more questions?
Good evening, Namit sir. Sean here.
Hey, hi, Sean.
See, I joined a little late, say 10 minutes late, so I'm not sure whether you already mentioned it here, but just out of curiosity, I don't remember even if I asked this before. Like, what was your thought process, like moving from an academician to a management higher studies? Rather, usually academicians go for an MTech, but you want to MBA. So was it anything influenced by IEEE or anything? Can you just put some insights on that?
Yeah, I was about to say that I think that had a lot of influence. I mean, the IEEE exposure had a lot of influence on me, because I got to see a lot of managerial people while working with senior folks in IEEE, right? The thing with so when you work with very senior people, they're not very technical most of the time. When I say not technical, they do not operate technically on a day-to-day basis, because they've gone beyond that point of having done all the technical stuff in their life, and then they grow into either managers or directors or entrepreneurs, right? So when you get exposed to them, you realize that there's a certain flair with management. There's certain excitement with management, and it depends. I mean, it was one shot that I was going to give it my management approach. If not that, I would have gone back into becoming a full-time academician. even today, I still want to get back into academics and probably on the management side of things. But yeah, I think that exposure to a lot of senior people who were in the managerial roles kind of encouraged me to do that.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Sean. I mean, this is one of the beauties of IEEE, right? Sean and I would have never met if not for IEEE. Sean was studying in an engineering college, I think at least 8 hours away from MES Kuchipuram, if I remember correctly. And
Yes,
there is
yes.
no way we would have met each other and no way we would have connected like this and still speak to each other like even after 10, 12 years, not 12, I think even more, right? After so many years, if not for IEEE. So that's what I was saying about building those connections and maintaining those relationships.
Remaining to ask any questions to sir?
I think there is one question in the chat, but what is the best activity I recall being conducted by the students when I was a branch counselor? For me, I mean, we did so many things, but for me, every year when the first year batch comes in and when the senior batch is going to pitch IEEE, I don't know if you do that, but the senior batch goes in for an IEEE orientation session. I don't know what it's called these days, but an orientation session of IEEE. That is for me the best activity because I get to see people who were on the other side last year coming to this side and talking about what they've experienced, right? And seeing that change in a period of a year is amazing. To have undergone the transformation, to become so confident in coming up on the stage, talking to a crowd, telling them about what they've achieved or what they've learned and gathered in the last 1 year from IEEE or 1 or 2 years, right, depending on which batch they're from. I think that is the best experience for me. I always try and be part of all these interactive sessions where we introduce IEEE to new students who come in. See, I know it's very difficult to get questions from an audience when we are on a virtual mode. Nobody knows what's the right question to ask. I think that's the first fear you should drop. It's an amazing opportunity for you to ask questions. You know, should not look at the room. Do not look at the people sitting around you. Just stand up and ask them. This is something that I think IEEE will teach you going forward. And if there is something that you do not like, object. One thing I wanted to mention along in relation to what I do today, I work in cybersecurity. I'm not in a technical role, I'm in a managerial role. But what I've observed is not a lot of people, especially in our part of the world, especially in Kerala, especially in North Kerala, know about cybersecurity as a career option, right? I don't know, fortunately for me, there have been several people from MES College of Engineering who I have either recruited or I have worked with in cybersecurity. I can recall 5 to 6 people who have myself recruited from campus or after campus, and then they got in touch with me. And they've all turned out to be excellent people. And today, I mean, even in my company today, I still have 3 or 4 people who graduated from MES and interned with us and then are now full-time with us. And today I can vouch for them saying that, you know, even the HR is extremely happy. MES is a great brand name inside my company today, thanks to you know, students who've done extremely well. So what I want to touch upon, I was segueing into that, is to also look at cybersecurity. I talk about cybersecurity because I know about it. Cybersecurity is an amazing career option today. I say that because it's one of the only domains in the world where there's a demand supply gap. In most of the other jobs where you go to, if you have 10,000 openings, you have 100,000 people who are trying to get in. Today in cybersecurity, it's the other way around. You have 100,000 openings and you only have 10,000 qualified people. That doesn't mean it's easy to get into. It's highly technical, highly competitive, and very dynamic, very exciting domain. You are practically in a parallel domain to, you know, a border security force or a security provider, because you're protecting your organization's asset, your country's asset, right, from hackers and the likes. So if you're in your first or your second or your third years, try to put some effort in understanding what the cybersecurity world is about. See if it's exciting for you, and try to build a plan to get there. Right, try to do some courses online. Try to do some hands-on stuff. Get into coding. Do all those things. If you are in your fourth year, get some certifications planned for yourself. Look at companies that you can get into. There are so many companies popping up in India because cybersecurity is a big, big topic in India and across the globe as well. But India is also becoming extremely hot because cybersecurity is a very tough skill to find. Even today, I mean, we are a 225 people company in the Middle East. We still recruit heavily from the Indian market, and it's very difficult to find good people. So cybersecurity is an amazing career space, which is something that I want to leave you all with when you leave the meeting today. It's a great space. Think of building a career there.
Amit, I'm Dr. Tasneem, now the
Hi.
branch SB counselor of MES. So as you already mentioned, only because of IEEE we are in contact. When I was in,
Yes.
I have taken the responsibility. Ansar sir told me I have inquired about the previous SB counselors, and Ansar sir told me you have got the international award in 2011 or 12, I think. So I thought that I have a great responsibility upon me like that. So I want to know your experience. You remember, you may be remembering that experience, right? You are getting the international award. I think you were among the top 8. So how you were applying for that, and who inspired you to get that award, etc. So if you remember all those, it would be easy.
I remember all those things because the last few days we were trying to recollect, right? We were trying to talk about it between you and me. What I recollect right now is that I had nothing to do with the award, to be honest. I never applied for it. I had already left MES at that time. I had left MES in, I think, June of or April or May of 2011. And what the student branch members did is, when there came an option for applying for exemplary performance by student branch counselors, they put together a report of whatever we had done as a student branch and applied for the award. It just happens to be that the counselor got the award, but I don't think that was an individual award at all. I believe that it was just appreciation from the MGA for all the work that we had done as a student branch across different batches, right? And this batch just happened to put it all across into a document and submit for the award. So I still remember I got $500 as a cash prize. I remember now, and I was very happy. And I was telling the student that we should throw a party and spend this money because I don't deserve this money. It's all because of whatever we've all done, and people in previous executive committees and stuff have done. So yeah, it was all driven by the students. Like I said, I think it was Shruti and Vijay and a lot of other people who kind of did it behind me. I never knew about it until we got the award. I just got an email saying that this has been awarded to you. And yeah, it was a great feeling. Obviously, technically it's an individual award. It's a great feeling, but still having put MES name out there was a great feeling.
Okay, thank you, Namit. Now I'm happy to tell you that we have 7 chapters in our and they are all
Hello.
active. And our IEEE ComSoc have a world's largest number of IEEE members in our college. Anyway,
Wow.
that was starting with your work, no? So we are so happy to.
No, it was starting with a lot of people before me, to be honest. I don't know if we still have records. We had some amazing student members in MES, even during 2000, 2002, 2004. There were global awards that they had won. Unfortunately, I don't recollect the name of the person. I feel really bad for
it
this,
was
but
Nitin Shah, Namit sir.
Nitin Shah, yes, Nitin Shah, yes.
Larry
So
Wilson
several
Award.
people, yeah, the Larry K. Wilson Award. It was I think we were the first in whole of North. I think most of the IEEE activity used to happen in and around Trivandrum and Cochin initially. I think MES was the flag bearer of getting it going up north towards Malappuram and Calicut and Kannur. So Nitin Shah was a very active part of that, and there are several other great members even before my time. So I think we were just reawakening the whole spirit that MES had, and I'm glad to see that it's still being held high, and a lot of things are happening.
Hello.
Hello.
Namit, this is Jared.
I realize it's you.
Thank you.
I was wondering when you would ask me the question.
I have a question. Like, you were working as a faculty, like we were working together, and you were like active IEEE counselor as well. After that, you went to like IIM Calicut. So when you were a full-time student at IIM, so did anything strike your mind, which thought, which provoked you thinking that which could be addressed during the college you were working in the college?
Yeah, I mean, there were several things. I mean, if I go back to my IIM days, it's also already been almost 10 years since I joined, so I'm feeling a little old going back to campus memories. But what I realize is that if I look at I mean, there were 320 people in my batch that year. And what I realize is a lot of people who I taught would deserve a seat in IIM Kozhikode if they had known about it. Right? If they had really known about it and had been mentored and had been told about a possibility to get into not only an IIM or any other prestigious institution, right? Just that I think in our culture today it's more prominent, but the whole idea of higher studies is still picking up, right? And that exposure was not happening. So what I felt is when I saw some of my peers, I felt that some of my students could have done better, or would have been better placed to be in their position. Not to degrade their qualities, or I was just thinking that some of my students could also have been here, right? Looking at the kind of people I was talking to and interacting with over the 2 years when I was there.
Oh, thank you. So, I think like few faculty members would have been attending this. So, do you have any suggestion for them? So, what can they do to address this issue for the current students?
I mean, I would just say exposure. I mean, today I think we have, I know at least 3 people from MES Kuttippuram who completed programs from IIMs. I know there is Kartika, there is Shruti, and there is also Sahir who's done it from IIM Indore, if I remember the name correctly. But I'm sure there are more people from MES who've done from a management perspective. Obviously, for different streams, there could be different alumni and ex-faculty members you could reach out to. But I think setting that up is an extremely important part in terms of guiding them to do what next after their bachelor's. Even for not only for MES, but for any student branch in the subsection.
Thank you, Namit. That was a good talk. Thank you.
Anyone ask any queries or questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes, hi.
Sir, can you tell me how did you get into cybersecurity?
So my entry into cybersecurity was pure. Sorry, there's somebody else trying to speak. Okay. So my entry into cybersecurity was purely accidental, I would say. It's just that one of the companies that came for recruitment on campus did their presentation to all the students, and I liked the CEO of the company had come down to do the presentation, And I really liked the way he was telling us how he built the company from scratch, how he sells to customers, and his philosophy of life and all that. So I was more attracted to that person rather than the company. And I wanted to really work with him. And that's how I got into the company in the first place. But then I realized that cybersecurity is an amazing opportunity, which nobody has heard about. And over the last 8 years, I've constantly tried to get more and more people into the space of cybersecurity. So I got into it by chance, but I would never leave it for anything in the world. So I think cybersecurity is something that will stay and will grow amazingly, or so tremendously, I would say, with amazing opportunities for people, at least for the next, for the foreseeable future. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I guess everyone had asked you a doubt. Anything more?
I think Mohammed sir is trying to speak, but his voice is not coming through.
Sir, Mohammed sir, you are not audible, sir.
Hello.
KP sir. Sir is trying to speak.
Can you post your
Hello.
questions in the chat?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir, we can hear you.
How are you?
Well, doing
I'm not
very
able
good, sir.
to-
Nice to hear
I'm
you.
not able to hear you properly.
Is it? Okay, I'm not sure if it's a problem at my side.
Now?
Is it better now?
Maybe
Seem to be slightly better. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now okay. Please. I couldn't
Yeah, we can hear you.
join you on time. I couldn't join on time, so I didn't hear you fully. Okay. It doesn't matter. Anyway. You are still in Dubai only, no?
I was in Dubai, but I'm moving to Qatar right now. I'm actually working for Qatar, but I'm in India right now. I'm working from India.
Oh. Anyway, go ahead. I don't have much. I
Yeah.
didn't hear you.
No,
I didn't hear you.
no
Beginning.
No problem. We were just talking about what we were doing as the IEEE student branch during my time. And yeah, we were just discussing some of the things that we did. And I mean, good that you're also here, because I think without your and principal sir support, it would not have been possible at all. Right? Everything that we came to you with, you always, even though you really scrutinized us and made us do all the hard work, you finally approved it. And we got a lot of stuff done with all of your help. So I think that the management support has also been amazing for the student branch, especially.
Anyway, I would have been coming to Kuttipuram at least once in a week or so. But because of the pandemic, the whole thing is stopped for the last 2 years.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway.
Good to speak to you, sir.
Anyway, it's terribly boring sitting at home.
I can imagine, yes.
Okay, let us see. Things are
all right, sir.
Okay.
KP Mohammed sir was our principal and director, and now he is not there with us. He is there as a
Listening.
management anyway. So, to know others, others may not be knowing who is KP Mohammed sir. That's why. Thank you, sir, for participating. So, Sabik sir, you will be sharing a feedback form, right?
Yeah, I'll be sharing. If it is over, means I will share. If any more questions, audience, you can clear it out, and at the end I will share. No problem.
Eh? Hello.
Hello, sir. Yeah, we can hear you if you are trying to ask something.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
I'm
are
just
about
listening. Tell me.
Yeah, we are about to close the meeting, sir. So we're just winding up.
Anyway, somehow I'm not able to hear properly. So anyway, I will try to listen. I don't think I'll be able to speak.
Sure, sir. Sure. Yeah, I think Sabik sir, we're done. You can go ahead and close the meeting and take the feedback.
Okay. Lamisa, you can wind up then.
I think there is no more questions. With this, we come to an end of the session. Thank you, sir, for an amazing session. On behalf of IEEE Malabar subsection and IEEE Malabar Hub, along with MESC student branch, I may like to express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Namit Najib, sir, for being with us today in spite of all busy schedule. Thank you, sir, for sharing your wonderful experience on IEEE with us, along with the cybersecurity instructions and studies. We are really fortunate to spend some quality time with you. I take this opportunity to thank all the aspirants for your active participation and made this session a grand successful one. Once again, I thank one and all present here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity, Lamisa and everybody else. I really enjoyed talking about all the memories. Good luck to all of you. Stay safe.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you on behalf of MSS. Big thanks for giving a wonderful session. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Form has been shared in the chat box. Please fill the form. Friends, I am requesting you to fill the feedback form. So please fill.
Thank you, Lamisa. Shall we close it? I think some of them have filled up the forms, I think.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Lamisa, for organizing this. Thank you, Tasnima, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
Can I leave the meeting?
Yeah. You can leave it. Okay. So I'll be closing once a few more participants are there. Once it is finished, I will close it. You can leave. No problem.
Okay.
Okay.